My name is Tara Goodwin. I am the owner of Goodwin Consulting, a PR agency, and also principal of Crisis Interception because crisis is my passion. What's absolutely fascinating to me is that leaders don't plan for crisis. They decide they're going to plan for crisis after they've experienced one. And it's actually backwards. You need to plan and prepare for a crisis to help you navigate through it. When I first started my company nearly 30 years ago, I used to say the first hour of managing through a crisis will determine the success or failure of how well you did. Guess what? In today's world of instantaneous news, it's minutes and seconds. My workshops cover a wide range of crisis management. We start by one fundamental principle. Every single crisis, or at least 98% of them, start as a business problem that remains unresolved. If you can identify that business problem inside your organization, you have a better chance of managing through the crisis. The workshops also explore the types of crises. Where are you most vulnerable? What are the top 3 to 5 crisis situations that keep you up at night? Data breach and cybercrime is the #1 concern of CEOs today. An employee clicks on a suspicious link and all of your computers can shut down. I've seen companies that have resorted to counting inventory with Sharpie pens and clipboards because all of their digital assets were frozen. So in addition to providing the types of crises that you can have inside your organization, we take a look at who's on your crisis team. One of the most important things that you can do as a leader is form a crisis team inside your organization that you can call together at a moment's notice and help you navigate a crisis. When they say it's lonely at the top, you never want it to be lonely in a crisis situation. You need the support and the eyes and ears of your top managers and leaders to help you make effective decisions with precision. So after we identify your risk profile and who's on your crisis team, we then take a look at what I call the Crisis Hall of Shame, CEOs performing badly in a crisis. And every day we see more and more fodder for me to take a look at. And finally, after we go through forming a crisis team, looking at your risk profile, and looking at the Hall of Shame and standard crisis worst practices, we start to turn to best practices. And what we do is we look at the art of a holding statement. And a holding statement is designed to have you put your stake in the ground and communicate fast and first in a crisis. And how do we get passion, excitement, and get that blood pressure up? We simulate real crises that could happen inside your company. And how do we do that? We do a lot of research. We looked at your LinkedIn profile. We looked at your media coverage, and we simulate situations that could conceivably happen using names of actual employees inside your organization. Whether it's an active shooter situation, whether it's an employee injury, and real names and real people and organizations and addresses start coming into the crisis, you watch the faces turn to stone. I don't do this to upset people. I do it to teach them the importance of being prepared. So as teams, people work together and craft a holding statement. And then we review, discuss, and learn. In addition to 3-hour workshops, we also offer individualized training for teams and keynote addresses for up to 500 to 1,000 people. And we're able to run a crisis drill with all of those people in the room in just an hour. But the best part is the feedback that I've received from people who have sat through my workshops, and when they call me and say, 2 weeks after you spoke, we had the worst crisis that happened to our company. I didn't have to call anyone outside. I called our crisis team, and we handled it far better than I ever thought we could. And that's what keeps me going, and that is why I am passionate of crisis training every single CEO who understands the importance of preparedness in a crisis.